All right, we are back live on a Radio Road, live from New Orleans, Louisiana, day number 4. With me, I have Brian Baldinger. He's a former Philadelphia Eagles lineman, NFL Network analyst, NFL Total Access, a 13-year career, played with the Dallas Cowboys, the Indianapolis Colts, and of course the Philadelphia Eagles. So I may have an idea on which team he's leaning on this week, and so we'll get to that in just a moment. But Brian Baldinger, thank you so very much for joining me today and spending time with us. You are this week on Radio Road talking about Synergen X and the Low T Center, which is a part of talking about testosterone and weight loss clinics. Give us a little bit more about that. And what you
I mean, I just, I'm up there in age now. I'm not quite the guy I was when I was playing, and I don't think any of us are the same man we used to be. So, I got my testosterone score, tested, 12, 15 years ago. And I was a believer in what it does to you and how it can, improve your overall sleep, overall health, recovery. I tore my tricep this year. It was an accident, but I tore it and it recovered very well. And it's, I've got a young girlfriend, trying to, keep her on board, all those things can be improved. And honestly, like what Low T has done is they've got 600 centers around the country, but they've now really digitized everything. You can do everything online right now. You get your score measured, and we can find out what you need, what you're deficient in from your Low T score and from your testosterone. And with that, they can find the product that's best for you. They can deliver it to you. They can customize it. A lot of places that do this kind of stuff don't customize it. One size fits all in a lot of places. And then they also can make it so that they can put exactly the dose that you need in the syringe for you. So there's no guesswork. And they've taken that all out.
When did you know that, or what was it that made you or somebody talk to you about doing this, 12, 15 years ago when you
So I was done playing and I tore, I broke, it's called a Jones fracture. I broke my 5th metatarsal in my foot and it was bothering me, but I didn't go to the doctor. And then I was working out and it got worse. And I went and got an x-ray, found out I broke the 5th and the 4th metatarsal. My bones started shattering and I didn't know why. And the doctor said, if you don't get this fixed, then you're going to shatter all your bones and you're going to have a hard time walking, period. So it scared me. So my brother-in-law was kind of in the cutting edge of this testosterone therapy. And I got it tested and I found out that I was really deficient. And that's when it really woke me up.
Okay. Where can people get more information about that and where can they go?
You can go right on the website right here. So right here, you can go to visit Synergenics. So SYNERGENX.com. All right. Right online. You can subscribe, sign up, and you get started right there.
Like, this game of football much better than I do. I'm just good at reporting on it. But when you look at this match, of course, a rematch from a couple of years ago where the Chiefs won 38-35, the new iteration of this Eagles team, the addition of Saquon Barkley, night and day difference from 2 years ago, but also that defense has gotten younger and faster with, I think, 3 or 4 starters being University of Georgia national champions that were drafted to that team. What's your thought process on this matchup and how this matchup looks to unfold Sunday?
Well, I think this is a much better team than the Eagles had 2 years ago. Yeah. I thought they were the best team in football this year, especially after the bye week, which came week 4 against a terrible loss to Tampa. I think the addition of Saquon in the backfield, they ran the ball 725 times this year, 3rd most in NFL history. They're a running football team. It's really, and then the quarterback, Jalen Hurts, really stopped turning the ball over. He's turned it over 2 times in his last 13 starts in games he started and finished. And they're 13-0 in those games. So, I mean, I think they've really looked at that. But then defensively, Vic Fangio coming in, first-year defense coordinator. 2 rookies, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell. The development of those Georgia guys, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith Jr. Yeah. Like, those guys have really developed. And then the addition of Zach Bond at linebacker is just the biggest surprise. I mean, he's a certified candidate to be Defensive Player of the Year. He's filled up the stat sheet. So, and they are very good at all 3 levels. And they don't break down. And they tackle very well. They're just really solid, And this Jalen Carter is a chance to become a real star in this business.
Yeah, and, of course, he would have been the number 1 pick in the draft
I agree.
a couple years ago. But of course, we know what happened, and not gonna not gonna go back to that. So, but now I got to ask on the Kansas City side, because I know for a fact you, as a former lineman, you love you some Trey Smith.
Yeah.
Because I've seen your breakdowns on Twitter.
Yep.
And normally when you're talking about something that the Chiefs have done, it generally starts with Trey Smith pancaking or knocking somebody on the ass down the field. What do you see that's special about this Chiefs team?
Well, he's a mean son of a gun. Nice guy, very smart guy. Got his degree from University of Tennessee.
Yep.
Student of the game. But him and Creed Humphrey, those two guys came in together.
Yep.
Creed was a 2nd round pick. Trey was a 6th round pick. When he was in college, he was really afflicted by blood clots.
Yeah.
And it dropped his stock. A lot of teams wouldn't even draft him. Took him off the draft board. So for Trey, every day is like a blessing to him. He's got an opportunity. He started every game for 4 years. He's going to go up against Jalen Carter, largely one-on-one most of the day. It's going to be a great matchup.
Oh, yeah.
But Trey is, every good offensive line, great offensive line has an alpha male that really gets the action started and they can back it up. And that's what Trey does. Like, he is an incredibly physical and competitive guy. And he loves the competition.
I know you talk about what was making Philly so great, but you've gotten a chance to watch, Patrick Mahomes, in your work and in your line of work since he's become the starter from his 2nd year in the league. What have you seen growth-wise from his standpoint that makes Kansas City such a dominant or such a fascinating team that fans have gotten a chance to watch over the last 6-7 years?
Well, I knew Patrick at Texas Tech.
Yeah.
I did Big 12 games for Fox for 10 years. So I was around him and Cliff Kingsbury out there. And really what I've seen from Patrick is it really starts with Andy Reid, in that Andy is always drawing up new plays and new concepts. And Patrick loves that. He loves seeing a new way to attack, a new formation, a new motion, a new way to get a star player of the football. He loves that innovation that Andy Reid creates. And so every Wednesday, it's never like he's just looking at the same playbook week in, week out.
Yeah.
It's always changing. And so it forces him to be really sharp. And he loves that aspect of it. And then, the guy is just as competitive as anybody in this industry at any position. Like, he loves to compete. He never wants to come out of a game, never wants to miss a game. We've all seen that. He's unusual.
X factor if Philadelphia is to win the game Sunday for you?
I would say, don't be surprised if Dallas Goedert, the tight end, has a big game.
Chiefs have had problems with tight ends this season.
He's he missed a big part of the season this year. He got hurt. I think he got hurt 2nd week against New Orleans. Missed a big chunk, but he's a star player. Like, the routes, his blocking, he's an excellent inline blocker. He's a true wide tight end, and he's great. He's got great hands, and he's good after the catch. Like, he's a handful for anybody to deal with.
And X factor for you for Kansas City to pull it out?
I would say, offensively, I'd say Xavier Worthy is a guy we should pay attention to. I know he set a record at the combine, the fastest 40-yard dash. That was great. But what he was at Texas and what we've seen this year is he's really multifaceted. He could be a guy that can run it. You could pitch it to him. You can get it to him in screens. You can get him deep down the field. With the ball in his hands, he's electric.
Now, Brad, I would not be doing my job if I didn't ask you to pick a winner in Sunday's game.
I'm glad you're asking me. When the playoffs started, January 5th, and all the seedings came out, and the Eagles were going up against Green Bay in the first round, I thought the Eagles would go 4-0. I thought, regardless if they had to go through Detroit, Kansas City, that they were the best team in football. So I picked them to go 4-0. They got to win this game to do 4-0. I picked them on January 5th. I'm picking them here on February 9th to win it.
Brian, up until that point, it's been a pleasure. First of all, well, obviously, I disagree with you on that.
Yep.
And a little biased. I do cover this team, so
yes.
I do hope they win. But no, it's great. So, but what do you love most about what you get a chance to do with the NFL Network, and even if not that, just what you do online? Because again, I find it fascinating how you're kind of showing the plays that, especially when we talk about Trey Smith, just linemen making moves down.
Well, the NFL Network uses me in a variety of ways, but they let me break the game down.
Yeah,
and they like that about me. And so I try to treat all 32 teams the same. I try to be fair about what I say and what I do, but I also try to bring a voice of some entertainment, some teaching, some education to the game that fans can't necessarily get through reporters or through their TV or whatever else. So I try to be another voice, trying to educate fans about the game.
And how can people follow you on social media?
At Baldy NFL, on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube. You can find me all over.
And one last time, where can people go about the Synergex?
Yep.
And
they can go to Synergex.com right now. SynergenX.com, and you can find where your nearest low T center is.
The great Brian Baldinger joining us on Radio Row, day number 4. We are out of here. Thank you so very much for your time.
Pleasure. You bet.
Man.